Welcome back. We are here with Gary Auerbach, his first trip to the Utah International Film Festival.
It is.
We'll start there. Your first trip, what took you so long and why are you here for the first time?
Well, my career started off mainly in television. So I started off in working for MTV, and that brought me to LA. And I used to produce a lot of and create reality shows, like some big shows for MTV and other people. And then we moved. My wife grew up in Utah, and we had a house up in Park City.
Wait. So is it your fault that MTV just stopped playing music videos?
I think so.
You had a role in that.
I had a role in that.
Okay.
I said, why make cool music videos and let kids watch? I said,
Why would you do that?
just do that one show they air.
Over and over and
I
over.
forget what it's called. I'm not going to say it.
Don't.
But, yeah.
Don't. Okay, so that eventually brought you to Park City.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And then at Park City, took a little break. And then,
From the industry?
from making TV reality shows, it gets kind of boring after a while. And I've always wanted to get back into narrative filmmaking. I did a couple films in my past. And so I went out and raised some money, and we started a new company called Top Dead Center Films.
Here in Utah.
Here in Utah, and we've shot all 4 films that we created and produced ourselves were shot in Utah with all Utah crew, which have been amazing. And we're now branching out a little bit. We're just producing some films for other companies, but the originals are all shot here in Utah so far.
Gotcha. But this is your first time participating in this film festival.
Yeah, so our first 2 films we did under this banner of Top Dead Center Films was perfectly timed right during the pandemic. So we did apply to some film festivals, but, got accepted some and won some things, but we didn't go. It was just send in your movie and here's the laurels to put on your poster kind of thing. So with this movie, we wanted to get it out there more because we're really proud of it. We think it's pretty awesome. So we just applied to different ones, and obviously we're from Utah, so we thought it'd be great to go to this film festival. We've heard great things about it, so we applied, and luckily we got here, and we'll see how it goes.
Groovy. You said this movie. Does this movie have a title?
Give Me Your Eyes is the name of the film.
Oh, that's the name of it. I was about to just...
You have like blue eyes or
Eyes.
Yes, you do. Your eyes. Yes, wonderful.
Okay. With Will telling us why that title give away it too much in the film?
Not really.
Why that title then?
The title is, so my wife, who's a writer, and one of her writing partners wrote this movie, and it's based on a real app. And the app, what it is, it's like helps blind people with tasks. So if you're blind or hard of seeing or, whatever sort of
Visually impaired.
Visually impaired is probably the right term. You could get these apps and you call up and you get a real helper. Like you could sign up for it, say it's Gary. I'm like, hey, I'm Gary. What can I do to help you? Picking out a shirt, is this the right coffee? So it's a really wonderful app for the visually impaired. So it was also a good start, we thought, and we believe, for a feature film that's a thriller. So basically this woman who's blind is caught in some sort of dangerous situation that's going on in her life. She calls up the app to find a person. They answer, and they kind of get sucked into the journey with and she's somewhat impaired too. She's agoraphobic. So it's basically 2, I'm going to say specially abled people who find each other to take on this very scary situation. And that's what the movie's about. So Give Me Your Eyes is the name of the app. There are real apps, but we made up our own name for the app.
That's smart.
Well, I don't want to get sued.
As I was saying, this day and age.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wait, I invented that. I invented Napster.
There's Napster. You could have Napster. Yeah.
I was asleep, and then...
Yeah.
If people so you said you've done 3 other films with this same company that you started here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 3 other films.
The same genre. Were they alike at all?
In a way, the first 2 were, one was called Stay Out of the Effin' Attic, which did really well. It ended up on show.
Polish? Effin'? What is that?
Effin'. Well, I didn't want to use
German. Oh,
I didn't want to use the
okay, I got it.
F word. So that we did here in Utah. It was great. We shot another one called Babysitter Must Die, which was really fun. And
The sequel to Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's.
I wish, yeah. You start looking at the titles, there's so many like
Right.
babysitter things. And then the last two films we did were, which we call Spanglish films.
Pura vida. Hablas español.
Sí, un
Unas
poco.
palabritas. Por lo menos puedes escribir algo.
Sí.
Ándale.
Okay.
Spanglish films.
Yeah.
So culture, language, how is it Spanglish?
So the way it worked was we, luckily, a very famous Mexican actress named Kate del
There's
Castillo.
only two of them. You found one of them.
Well, there's more than one. Come on.
Viva Mexico.
Mexico, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful people.
Hey.
And so she read one of our scripts and she wanted to do it. It was during the pandemic. She's on a lot of big TV shows and stuff, but she wanted to do the film. So we came up, and the way we ended up doing it with her was like, you take the script. When you want to speak Spanish, you take whatever you want, speak Spanish. We're not going to try to write Spanish for you.
Right.
And so that's how it started, and it worked out really well. So for that film, there weren't a lot of characters in it. It was like that one's called Hunting Ava Bravo. And it was, she was a survivor of a kidnapping, and then she gets kidnapped again, but this guy's hunting survivors.
Gotcha.
And we shot it all in the snow up in Park City, and it was pretty awesome. And then the next one, we decided to do the same thing, not with Kate, but with another very big Mexican actor named Mauricio del Oakman. And also we had Hunter King in this one, who's amazing, Joey King's sister, but she's an amazing actress. And Ella Torres, who's a pretty big Mexican actress too. And I don't know if you know Chase Ramsey.
Not off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
he's a
Maybe by sight.
Yeah, he's becoming a more well-known Utah actor. He's amazing. So we had a good little crew, and we did the same thing. So some of it's in Spanish, some of it is in the rest. It's 80% English, 70-30, 80-20 in English. But we call it Spanglish, but it's not really bilingual.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to say English and Spanish. It's just like
The mix.
It's just like, I don't know if you have a lot. Well, you obviously speak.
We speak, no joke, we speak Spanglish in our home. I only speak Spanish to my kids.
Right.
My wife only speaks English. So we are pure Spanglish in our casa.
So that's what it is. It's like, you know how it is. So you
Or
start,
you get to one word and you go, it's easier to say in Spanish here.
you start speaking, I'm setting up the table, then you just go to the por la cena.
Pásame el spoon, man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, also, there's such a big, obviously,
Cultural.
it's cultural, and just so many people now in America, not just in, North America, but all over, that speak Spanglish, like they're...
The Ebonics and Spanglish are their own languages now.
It's just becoming, and it's a very big market, and it's helped us with sales and everything. And to me, I love working with Latino actors and crew. They're just
It's a whole
really fun, man.
fresh blood.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, I'm going to take, you mentioned a few Mexican actors. You're some guy who grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and did a stint in L.A., and then you end up in I grew up here in Utah. It was sleepy little Park City, not so much anymore. How are you finding talent in Mexico to come do a film in Park City in the snow?
It was really by chance. So when I was out raising money to start the company, Top Dead Center Films, I had several conversations with a very big Spanish production company called Media Pro. And they're all over the world, gigantic company. And we became friendly and started talking more. And they had some people here in America. And then they were friends with one of the companies that they own. Wild Sheep was friends with Kate. So he was looking for films. Media Pro sent some of the films we gave them that we were looking to do. And he sent one to Kate, and she loved it. And then we kind of went from there. So it wasn't my connections.
Right.
It was really... my last company I owned, which is called Go Go Lucky, it was the reality company I was talking about. We sold a lot of our shows internationally, so I had some contacts there. So I wanted, I feel like, as we all do, the business is shifting a little bit international, like the old days.
We just were talking about that 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
How so much of what could be done here is now, it's in Europe now. It's in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's also other parts of America, which is good for Utah, I think, because I think it's an amazing place to make a film, and, it's very sad what happened to L.A. the last few days, but even prior to that with the strikes and the pandemic, they're going to lose their case for being the only place to make a movie. And I could tell you from the 4 films I made here, how amazing it is making a movie here. Not that, I'm not doing a thing for the Utah Film Commission, but great
Right.
crew, great people, work really hard. I've been in the business for 25, 30 years. So the crew here, I'll take any day versus, I don't want to say any crew in LA. There's amazing people
I understand.
there, but it's as good as any crew.
Everybody's on par here.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
not wanting for anything more than what you can get here.
No.
How about the talent? Is there enough talent here in Utah to feed your needs?
Yes and no. It's hard to do it because to sell a movie, you need a name to put on the poster or a name to sell the movie. And there aren't that many of them here, so usually a company will want to bring in names from LA or New York or wherever. And that's just the way it is until that changes. There's a few people getting bigger. Like I mentioned, Chase, I think he'll be a name soon. The other thing is a little bit of diversity. Though we could hire Latino actors here
Right.
pretty well, but it's still, if I'm like, hey, I need an all Spanish speaking crew, and
It's going to be tough.
it's going to be tough. Yeah. So
Wait, to shoot or to sheetrock?
to do both, to act. And then I like usually to have a few Spanish speaking crew
Right.
if I can when I'm doing it, just so everybody feels comfortable. So there's more than you think, and a few of our friends come up who are Spanish speaking, but, yeah, I mean, the talent's there. Like the actors are great. It's just,
The name.
yeah, it's just the way film works. You can't change that, unless you're doing a very low budget film that you could really get done for a couple $100,000, then it doesn't really matter.
Aside from then your big names, are you someone that is looking to give local talent a shot?
Oh, absolutely. It's just, we've used, except for say the names we needed, everybody else is based out of Utah, and they've been great. I have there's plenty of people here who could do the parts. It's just the business of how filmmaking is, but there's plenty of talent here, especially down here in Provo. I went to Chase, who's a buddy of mine, did a play. I've seen a few plays down. I forget the name of the theater here. Really amazing talent, and, for whatever reasons, a lot of people stay here in Utah, don't want to go to LA or New York and are happy with the quality of life and family and whatever they're doing here. So there's an amazing pool of actors here that I think could play any role, unless, sometimes it calls for diverse,
Right.
candidates. So I think Latino keeps on growing here. Hopefully the rest of that grows too, but
That's good to hear.
yeah.
That's promising.
Yeah.
On that note, with the experience that you have around the country, your background, what would you tell somebody that's in your shoes where you were even 20 years ago? Any just something of advice?
I think the great thing about, first of all, filmmaking, and it's not only the writers and directors and everything else. The great thing about filmmaking, there's no barrier to entry. Like I know people who are amazing at what they do, and they just, maybe they're really good with mechanics or with a camera or something else, and they could come and start working. And if they're passionate about it, it'll happen.
So just find your niche.
Yeah, it's not, you don't need a degree from Harvard. You don't need, some people some writers are amazing at what they do, and they have that kind of degree, or AFI, or going to get your MFA somewhere. That's awesome.
But do what you do and do it well.
Yeah, you just keep on doing it. If you're passionate about it, it'll happen.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
On our way out, please tell people the name of your film and how they can find it, how they can see it.
Okay, the name of the film is Give Me Your Eyes. Right now, we're only out in Amazon Latam. So you can't get it in America yet. So that's all the Latino-speaking countries. We're talking to a few distributors now about what we're going to do domestically. So hopefully you could check it out somewhere. Give Me Your Eyes. Really amazing cast. All Utah crew shot it. So you'll see some interesting things there.
We'll keep our eyes open for it.
All right, Chris.
Thanks, man. We'll be back soon with some more of the who's at the Utah International Film Festival.